Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Here today to teach you Viparita Dandasana. Basically, upward bow down on your forearms. This video is for Andrew Knight and anyone else who wants to watch. Remember, whenever we're doing our deep back bends, such as this one, it's always going to come at the end of the practice. So I'm assuming that you're already warm. If you're not warm, get warm, come back. We're just going to do one shoulder stretch to get your shoulders ready for this particular posture. That stretch, Gomukhasana, arms. I'm not really concerned with the legs right now. How do I take my Gomukhasana arms? First, braids out of the way. That's a given. I take one arm behind my back, and I always recommend take your other hand, reach back, try to find your elbow. If you can't find your elbow, find your wrist or whatever you can, and sort of pull midline. And see if you can grab onto your elbow, even if it's like pull, pull, pull. Get that elbow, and then as you pull your elbow in, try to reach your hand up the middle of your back. So not over here. You gotta bend your elbow a lot to get it way up there. So my other arm comes up, reaches back for the clasp. Okay. Now, of course there's a leg position that goes with this. If you wanna learn it, you know I have a video for it because I have a video for just about everything. Now, when I'm in the shoulder stretch, remember the arm, top arm, behind your head, okay? Not over here. Here. A is going to give me more opening for my shoulder, and B, this way I could use the slight pushback of my head to create some extra opening for my shoulder. Because my goal here, open shoulders. And if you need help with shoulder openers, you know I got a video for that. Check it out in the corner. I'm going to release, not a very long hold, which means if you need a longer hold, that is what pause buttons were created for. Pause if you need to. I'm going to my other side. I want to make sure that you get a nice deep stretch on both sides for as long as you feel appropriate. And can't get your clasp? You know what to do, right? Grab a strap. Okay? So anytime you can't clasp your hands together, if you just throw a little strap in there, bada boom, bada bing, you'll have your clasp, you'll have your opening, and you'll have your shoulders so ready for this pose. Okay, so this arm back position is very similar to the actual position that we need to have in our Viparita Dandasana. I wish there were like an easy, fun English version for that, but there really isn't. It's just two-legged inverted staff pose, which isn't that much more fun than the whole Sanskrit shebang. Release your arms. Okay. Heading right into our back bend warm-up. Again, I'm assuming you're warmed up and ready for back bends because we're diving right in with Urdhva Dhanurasana as our opening position. So, lying down on your back. Need help with Urdhva? You know what I'm going to say, right? I got a video for that. Hands underneath your shoulders. Feet parallel, okay? They always want to turn out. Make sure they're parallel. We press gently to the top of your head, and in order to do the final pose, you got to get used to getting some weight on your head. Not a lot, but some. Now, very simple. A back bend push-up. Press down and lift up. Come down and up. We'll just do 5, just to get a feel for it. 3, 4, and 5. And remember to come down, it's chin to chest, landing on your shoulders, not on your head, right? We pause on the crown of the head on the way up, but not on the way down. Because you don't want to roll on your neck coming down. Okay, why are we doing that push-up? Because in order to do this Viparita Dandasana, we have to understand the concept of root and rebound. What does that mean? It means the more I press down, the more I lift up. Pretty simple when we've got this big bend that we can put in and take out of our elbow by bending and straightening. It gets a little more complicated when we're on our forearms and we don't have nearly as much energy to spare on the root and rebound. But understand, at least intelligently, that pushing down makes you go up. Now, second thing we need to learn to do, we're coming back to our Urdhva Dandasana. In order to do this posture, you'll notice, unless you have a really open back, and I hope you do, I don't have the world's most open back, so let's be honest here. When you press up, so remember it's pause on the crown of your head and press up, your body weight might be back towards your heels a little bit. So notice how if you push into your heels, you can push your chest towards your shoulders. So let's just rock back and forth a little bit. Opening the shoulders towards the arms. I'm going to just move my hands in a little bit. Notice again, all I'm doing is pressing into my feet to move my chest. Okay? And when I'm ready to come down, it's chin to chest. And down. Okay. So, those are the three primary elements of Urdhva Dandasana that we need to get into the next pose. A, the pose itself. B, root and rebound. And C, being able to move your chest way back. Okay, to set up this posture, let's talk about the arm position, because it's a little bit weird. Actually, it's a lot like headstand position, meaning that the arms are going to be about 90 degrees in a triangular position. Simple enough, right? Of course, I'm facing down and we're going to be facing backwards, but it's the same energy. The mistake people make with the arms, which is the same as what they make with the headstand, is they think that if the hands are down, that they should be cupping the head. So they take their hands sort of open like this in the palms and sort of cradle their head into it. In fact, the arms need to be in like a karate chop position. That's how you karate chop, right? Meaning that the pinky all the way to the elbow is down on the floor. Not palm open and curled in, but karate chop. Okay? Once I have my karate chop, I can interlace my hands. And remember that when my head goes into my hands, it's not a cup. My hands aren't flat to my head, but rather the only thing that's really going to hit my head on the setup is just the heel of the palm. Why is this important? Again, I'm doing this upside down, but I want you to understand the dynamic here. If I'm trying to root and rebound, meaning press down to lift up, and my arm is in a karate chop position, this is a very powerful position. However, if my hands are open and cradling my head, how powerful is this? Sort of pressing into the back weird knuckles of the hands? Answer, not powerful at all. So, when we're putting in the arm position backwards, make sure that your hands are not down and cradling the head, but karate chopping and just touching the head with the heel of the thumb. Okay, so we start off same way as we would setting up for your Urdhva Dandasana. Make sure your braids are out of the way, of course. Actually, I joke about it, but if your hair isn't out of the way and you put your hands on your hair, it's gonna be really hard to get up. Okay, so I come to the crown of my head and pause. Watch those feet, parallel them. Now, take one arm, walk it towards your foot, like as if you were doing sort of a Kapotasana pose, and put your elbow down. Right now, I can keep my forearm down, and then I do my other arm. From there, I turn my hands, I gotta lift my head a little bit, I turn my hands inside out, so I got my karate chop and my clasp. Now, the mistake people make all the time is thinking that to get up from here, they somehow have to lift their head. That's not the case at all. The head does not lead the pose, it follows the pose. And how do I get it off the floor? Root and rebound. I press into my forearms, and in fact, if I can pull my forearms a little closer together, it helps me to get higher. At the same time, I press into my feet because that presses my chest towards the shoulders. Remember how we did in Urdhva Dhanurasana? Let's put the head down and try 5 little push-ups. 1, you're not going to go super high, but press into your forearms and your feet. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, when you come down, remember you never roll off the top of your head. So press down, chin in, and down. Okay. 2 quick things. 1, I know when I shoot this, it might not look like my head is lifting because the color of my hair blends into my yoga mat. You gotta take my word for it, my head is lifting. However, it's not gonna go up super high, right? I'm only this far off the floor and my head and neck are this long. So, pulling the head back or pulling the head forward, of course, depending on which way you prefer to look, is gonna bring your head higher as well. But let the arms and legs do the work, not your head and neck. Okay, so we got this far, but the actual posture has straight legs, not bent legs. This adds a whole new level of fun. Now, where it might be a little bit challenging to take your legs out, the good news is that it will give you more strength to push backwards and get your chest towards the back side of your mat, or whatever side you want to call it where your head is. Okay, so let's do the same thing we just did without the push-up part. So braids out of the way, hands down, crown of the head, parallel my feet, arms come back, interlace, and once I lift my head again, I can pull my elbows a little tighter. I move my chest back. Now try first with just one leg. Can you stretch one leg out in front of you? And bring it in and try your other leg. Okay? Now, I'm going to come down for 1 sec, lift up to come down. Remember that the feet can be pretty slidey. So, make sure they wind up on your mat, not on the floor. The floor is slidier than the mat, and you're more likely to fall out and die. But we don't want you to die. Okay? So, when the leg comes out, in order to avoid slipping, I need to really press into the heel of my foot to press my whole body backwards, which is not only going to open my back, not only going to open my shoulders, but when my chest goes back, it gives me more length, which means more room to straighten my legs as well. So, hands down, crown of my head, find my clasp, press, okay, get a nice, strong clasp, and then see if you can walk your feet out. There's a little bit of an internal rotation in your thighs, feet are touching, and straighten out your legs. I'm looking forward to create some extra space. Then it's feet in, head down. Remember, press down to lift up, chin to chest, bring it down, and bada boom, bada bing. That, my friends, is your 2-legged inverted staff pose. Hey, listen, if you're looking to learn all sorts of stuff you never knew before, and all sorts of stuff you never knew, consider taking my teacher training intensive in Los Angeles. Next one is July 23rd to August 5th, just 2 weeks. And if you're watching this in the future, check out my website, yogathletica.com. You can see when the next dates are. They just keep rolling around. And don't forget my Vimeo channel if you want to get some cool, awesome, full-length videos to warm you up for your back bends, your shoulders, and everything in between. I'm Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Wishing you a good day, mate. Because Andrew Knight's in New Zealand. And even though that's probably the Australian way of saying it, it's good enough for me. Good day. Have a good one. Ciao.